Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We've got a big video for you here. We are doing the third and final Autumn 2023 seasonal model roundup for today's second video. Getting 15 long-range models together from the world-leading forecast centres to see what they're all showing for the autumn of 2023 for the third and final time. This is, of course, ahead of the autumn forecast that is going to be released at GavsWeatherVids here on the channel tomorrow, Sunday morning at 10 AM. So big video for you, this one. I'll get on it for you in a moment. Just say that first video today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. We've also got weekend forecast and a Delta 14-day coming up for you today as well. Please like, share, subscribe on all of today's videos and content. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Thank you so much to Richard, the amazing Richard Truff, for our amazing and wonderful and lovely autumn updates gifts. We've had 2 of them this season. This will be the final time that you see the autumn updates gift. We've got a special gift tomorrow for the autumn forecast. So, yes, thank you so much, Rich, for our amazing autumn updates gifts number 1 and gifts number 2. Thank you so much, my friend. Right, okay, with all that said, let's crack on with the third and final autumn 2023 seasonal model roundup. Here we go then. We're going to start off with Kansas via tropical tidbits. This will be mean sea level pressure anomaly for the autumn of 2023 from Kansas. Don't worry about H's and the L's, just concentrate on the colours. Going for higher pressure to be to the north around Greenland and into the Northern Sea. Lower pressure in the Atlantic and into western parts of Europe. Looks like it could be a relatively unsettled autumn, especially so the more southern parts of the country. The temperature anomaly for this autumn with Kansas comes out around average and not a particularly big deviation, so no sign of a particularly warm autumn. And precipitation is a bit wetter than average to our south and slightly on the drier than average side up to the north. I think a rather unsettled and coolish autumn is likely there. Let's go through the NMME suite of models next. These are all coming from NOAA, CPC, NCEP, and also starting off with NASA. Temperature anomalies for the autumn 2023 from NASA, a little bit above average in those orange shadings. That's like half a degree to 1 degree above normal. Precipitation is about average, a little bit on the wetter side, perhaps just to our west though, with NASA. GM, the Canadian models, looking about average temperature-wise for this autumn. Not a particularly warm signal for the autumn. Near normal temperatures being predicted there from GM, and precipitation looks like that again quite close to average, maybe slightly above to our west and southwest. Looks like wettish weather could be across more southern and southwestern parts of the country. And then NCAR looking like that again, near normal temperatures, not a big deviation, no sign of an excessively warm autumn. And precipitation, this one looks slightly wetter, perhaps more towards the west to the northwest, but again not too far from average. IRI probability forecasts look like this. By the way, IRI is the International Research Institute for Climate and Society, part of Columbia Climate School and also Columbia University. So the probabilities are favouring a warmer than average autumn or a milder than average autumn for much of Ireland, England, Wales, along with most parts of Europe. Actually, although Scotland isn't favouring either a cold or a warm autumn. Scotland is favouring near normal temperatures there, to be honest. And as far as the probability for precipitation is concerned, not much single island forecast to be drier than average through this autumn. 40% probability below normal rainfall. Otherwise, again, not much of a signal there. So quite weak signals from IRI for precipitation, but a milder than average autumn is expected, is probable. Patal Peng next. So these are analogue forecasts. Patal Peng is looking at sea surface temperature anomalies in any given month, in this case during July of 2023, and then creating an analog based forecast based on those sea surface temperature lines going forwards. Patel Peng predicting there's going to be some high pressure in the Atlantic, 200 millibar heights, high pressure above average heights in the Atlantic, extending to the north of the UK and Ireland up into North parts of Europe, probably some sort of trough of low pressure down here. You'll think that's going to be a relatively warmish autumn, bring wind in from a southerly southeast direction. Actually, the temperature anomaly isn't that warm, so it's slightly above average, along with many of the models that we've seen so far, not going for an excessively warm autumn. And precipitation, we're in a bit of a no man's land, so slightly wetter than average to our south and west, but drier than average, quite significantly so, just to our east. So a little bit of a no man's land there. And then finally, for the North American models, we've got CFS V2, this 700 millibar height anomaly from the CFS, a little bit of low pressure in the Atlantic for September, October, November, autumn 2023, with above average heights, higher pressure in the up to the east and into the northeast of the country. The temperature anomaly is predicted to be slightly above average, but again, not excessively warm, around half a degree, 1 degree above normal, and not much simple precipitation, but does look a little bit wetter through Ireland and the far southwest of the country, and particularly so down to our south, some of France, Spain, Portugal, and around Iceland. It looks like the Atlantic is relatively active there, though it could be quite an unsettled autumn if that comes off, I think. That's the North American models done. Let's come to the European models, starting with the ECM WF. This is a mean sea level pressure anomaly from the ECM for the autumn of 2023, showing low pressure to our west and south, some sort of high pressure up towards the northwest of Russia. It looks like it could be quite unsettled, I think, with that low pressure just to our west and south. The temperature anomaly is above average, but only by half a degree to 1 degree, not excessively warm. And precipitation-wise, again, quite a weak ceiling. Notice is wet and average out in the Atlantic, so I think really reading between the lines, an unsettled autumn will be quite likely there. Going through the Copernicus suite, starting off with Meteo France. So, mean sea level pressure anomaly from Meteo France, looking quite interesting actually for this autumn, with higher pressure blocking within the northern latitudes around Greenland, Iceland, etc. Maybe some lower pressure where we've got this white area just here. Temperature anomalies, again, very close to average, not a particularly warm autumn being signalled. The yellow shading is no more than half a degree above average, so just a little bit on the average side, but not excessively warm at all. And precipitation, not much of a signal there, probably no signal for precipitation or average rainfall. GWD, the German model, looks like that. Again, getting some sort of high pressure towards Iceland. Low pressure is down to our south, quite a long way south from us. Temperature anomalies with a DWD. Again, it's above average, but not excessively so, around half a degree to 1 degree above normal. And again, not much of a signal for precipitation, but might hint at being a little bit on the more unsettled side. CMCC, this is the Mediterranean model, looks more unsettled, low pressure closer to us from off the Atlantic and into the western part of Europe, a little bit of higher pressure up towards Greenland and over into the northwest of Russia, maybe. Temperature anomalies, again, very much in line with what we've seen through all of these models so far, slightly above average, in the orange shading, around half a degree to 1 degree above normal for the autumn. Is more unsettled, especially so to our west, with above average rainfall forecast then. And then we've got the ECCC next, with an area of high pressure, Scandinavian high, low pressure again. As we've quite a few of these ones just to our west and south, I reckon that could deliver quite an unsettled pattern for the autumn. The temperature anomaly, again, is in the orange yellow shading, so it's only like half a degree, maybe above average. Basically, average temperatures for this autumn, which would be a little bit cooler than we've been used to in a lot of autumns recently. Precipitation, drier than average up to our north and northeast, wetter than average just to our west and the southwest. So we've got a low pressure in the Atlantic battling with a Scandinavian high. There. And then the JMA, the Japanese model, mean sea level pressure anomaly, showing high pressure sitting to north. We've got some blocking there from Iceland, Scandinavia, low pressure into our south. That will probably bring the wind in from an easterly direction, so rather easterly autumn. Of course, autumn's a transitional season, so if you've got easterlies in September, they'll be quite warm. If you get easterlies in November, though, they can be really quite cold. The temperature anomaly for this autumn, again, as with so many of these models that we've seen, it's averaged to slightly above, not an excessively warm autumn being indicated here in hardly any of these models, to be honest. Precipitation-wise, it looks rather dry and average just to north and northeast, western average out in the Atlantic. That's bringing the Scandinavian high, I think, or the blocking feature between Iceland and Scandinavia. That's bringing that high pressure more into the focus and blocking off the Atlantic. And then we've got the Beijing Climate Center. So we keep the Asian thing going. We go from Japan to China. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly from the Beijing Climate Center for the autumn of 2023, focusing a blocking area of high pressure up towards Iceland and Greenland, although it does look as though the ridge is extending down into the west of Europe. There's a trough of low pressure in the far east of Europe and into the west of Russia. The 200 millibar height anomaly looks like that, a little bit clearer maybe. The high pressure is focused around Iceland and Greenland, really. Lower pressure in the northeast. That might get wind into more of a northeasterly direction in the end, but could be a little bit of a struggle with that. The temperature anomaly, again, it is not excessively warm, just slightly above average in the yellow colours, which is around half a degree, 1 degree to 1 degree above normal. So it's slightly milder than average, but not excessive. And precipitation, it's drier than average to our north and a little bit wetter than average down to our south. And then the final model that we've got here is our very own UK Met Office, C5 model, and this one looks very unsettled for the autumn. Low pressure in off the Atlantic into West Europe, quite deep low pressure, is in combination with some higher pressure up towards Greenland as well. That becomes more important into the winter period, I can tell you that, but we won't discuss that anymore for this update. And as far as temperatures are concerned, again, we're in the orange shading, so that is above average by around 1 to 1.5 degrees above average, I think, this time. So a little bit warmer, actually, with temperature on from the UK Met compared to most of the other models. But the main thing with the UK Met is that it's going for a very, very wet autumn in those deep green colours there, which on the scale is, that's going for really quite an unsettled autumn. Not very often we go to the deep greens. So that will be a wet but warm autumn indicated there from the UK Met. Right, we're done. 15 long-range models completed in 12 minutes. That's not bad going, is it? There was a time that video probably would have took you around 25 minutes, but I get through it a lot quicker now. Though I think we've got a clear trend within this final season roundup. An unsettled autumn looks quite likely, I think. Quite a bit of low pressure in the Atlantic. Slightly above average temperature, but other than the UK Met, there's no real clear signal for temperature to be excessively warm. So yes, we're a little bit above the seasonal average, probably more than anything due to the warm seasonal temperature anomalies that we've got in the Atlantic. But no sign of a hot autumn, no sign of a really excessively warm autumn, and also looks rather unsettled with a lot of these models for the autumn as well, rather wet autumn being indicated. So slightly above average temperatures and a wetter than average autumn is forecast. Quite a few models, especially the European models, those Copernicus models, hinting at some blocking within the high latitudes, and that could be particularly later on in the autumn. Actually, what we're going to do tomorrow when we do our live stream, so we're going to be releasing the autumn forecast, of course, tomorrow, but after that we'll be live streaming at 6 p.m. and we will go through all of those Copernicus models again, but this time on a month-by-month basis. So you see how those 3 monthly anomalies are actually breaking down month by month. I think that'd be quite interesting because there is a signal with a lot of those European slash Copernicus suite of models that are sort of playing around with blocking either around Greenland or Scandinavia or generally to the north of the country. So that's going to be quite interesting to watch in our live stream tomorrow. Right, so that's it. We've completed all of our autumn updates. So we've done 3 seasonal roundups, we did 10 autumn updates. There's nothing left to do now other than release GavsWeatherVids Autumn 2023 forecast, which we are going to do tomorrow. We will combine these long-range models with our data that we've been compiling through the season of autumn updates, and tomorrow all shall be revealed. You will find out what we're forecasting for the autumn of 2023 at GavsWeatherVids tomorrow at 10 a.m. So yes, here we go. It's time for another long-range forecast, and we'll be delivering that for you tomorrow. If you've enjoyed this third and final autumn 2023 seasonal roundup, please you like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that, and we'll see you later on for our weekend forecast, our 10 to 4 today, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow for the live stream at 6 p.m. and also for the autumn forecast that will be released at 10 a.m. For this one, that's all now, and thanks for watching.